You're watching the go live thing. I'm watching you.
All right, welcome everybody to today's live update. We thought we'd do something a bit different today because we'd foreshadowed for the last couple of weeks if there were no issues, we'd have an announcement to make. So we're happily doing that. So we figured we'd basically have a little bit of a retrospective look at how we got to where we are, and then a bit of a sneak peek at what's coming up,
Mm.
a bit more of a kind of foreshadowing of the things we're releasing over the next while. And then a special little bit of news at the end. So,
There's an insane amount of stuff to talk about,
yeah,
actually. But first, Richard, you said where we are. Where are we?
we are calling Mainnet. It's been a thing. We've always resisted the term up until recently, just because we don't like that kind of testnet mainnet kind of it's all done and dusted
It's been like a
mentality.
weapon used against us for so long. It kind of feels like,
uh,
like we're holding the katana.
yeah, but and that was because we had a different approach to launch. But now that we've had token persistence and things are running
Mm,
smoothly, the chain hasn't missed a beat. All the ATR's gone
mm,
well. We keep a very close eye on total supply. It's all tight. It's time
yeah.
to say, and really, it's a commitment that we're not going to reset the network
Mm,
or fork the chain without it being, all the nodes on the chain needing to come along with us, and
mm,
or there'll be a fork of some kind. So we're
yeah.
in big boy blockchain territory, I suppose, on that count.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's great to be in that position in that we've got people running nodes now, so anything that happens on
I
the
mean,
network is coordinated.
it's also good because I've started referring to staging as testnet.
Yeah,
Because we're going to tell you guys about some of the stuff that's happening
yeah,
and why you haven't seen it because it's kind of insane what's happening on the back end with new features and stuff that are coming out very soon.
yep,
But yeah, staging is going to be testnet. We got
yep,
to I think we got to reboot the servers, but things like the faucet, you're
yeah,
going to need it because a lot of the features that are coming out need Saito, and so
yep.
we're gonna,
So
the test is gonna be where you can go to test things out as a user or as a dev.
yeah, so I think our plans are to have, like the testnet, like most major chains, have a testing environment which has any
Yeah.
beta changes to consensus, all of that stuff, and we do long range testing on things. That has a faucet so people can come and test and play and build stuff themselves. It's also a place where people can launch their own node and test things that might break stuff.
Yeah.
We'll probably also end up with a staging node, something that's on mainnet, but where we launch alpha software. So things that
Hmm.
we're not necessarily, we're making an upgrade and we want feedback or that sort of thing on UI UX.
Mm.
Where it's still on the chain, so you could do things like NFT tests and stuff like that. So we'll keep people up to date on what's happening there. But yeah, I think it's going to look much more standard with kind of
Mm.
a named test net and then the real Saito network.
The main net. Yeah. Yeah. You
Cool.
want me to give? You want an update on all of the crazy stuff that's going to be
I think
coming out?
first maybe a little retrospective because I think we should mark the occasion, right? It's
You
been
guys will
a
remember this
road,
and
and
nostalgia.
yeah. Well, I think it's sort of interesting to catch up. First thing I wanted to say is thank you to all the citizens. I know we say it regularly, but that's because we genuinely feel
Mm.
a a debt of gratitude to the people who've stuck with us, the people who've
Yeah.
contributed ideas, the people who've held us to account and our feet to the fire, all those things.
Mm.
All the different kinds of support. So I feel really strongly that we have the community that I'd like to be part of the most in the space.
Mm.
It's a thoughtful
That's
community.
true.
It's a really helpful community. You don't get many philosophy memes, but you do get them on Cider. So to me that really means something. The discourse is great. So thanks to everyone on that. I think maybe
I don't. I don't think I've ever seen a philosophy meme on Saito. I'm not sure how to process that. Or did you? Are you on some Nietzsche?
yeah, I'm on the
Uh,
Nietzsche subreddit.
I'm I'm like, I want.
I'm
I'd
just
like
on
in.
the maybe it's my experience of node debugging where life
Mm,
is a pendulum that swings between suffering and pain. Um,
mm.
anyway, um, I think
Schopenhauer, not
yeah,
Saito did. Yeah.
that's the Schopenhauer node. It's just this.
Um,
I think the other
yeah,
thing
I
maybe
got to say, I feel the same way too. I think a lot of people, people who've joined the community lately, or maybe even since like 2002, 2022, might not realize like if we're going back, people, because people are like, oh, it's a crypto project, it's big, and everyone assumes that everyone's like a big VC funded titan. And it's like, no, no, like when we started, it was like Richard and I were like, this routing approach seems fundamentally to solve these problems.
Mm.
And we're going and talking to people to try to get someone to understand it so they'll
Well,
build it.
I think
You
we were
know?
also so we were also super aware of the issues because we were watching the people we used to
Mm,
play Bitcoin poker with, and the people we really cared about who really made Bitcoin what it was. Early miners, early contributors to consensus devs, all that sort of
mm,
thing. Uh, Start just arguing over these points of design around block size, etc. And we've
yeah.
been in the trenches watching that argument the whole time. And that's why when David came to me with the first ideas aside, and then we kind of got the design roughly finished and we looked at it, there was this feeling of, wow, this actually fixes the whole
Mm,
set of issues that we've been
yeah.
seeing. Like, really trouble people. They weren't like abstract, oh, we could design a chain that has a slightly more efficient something. It was like, this actually fixes the design problems that are
Well, I
causing
mean,
these issues.
it was inconvenient in a way because a lot of the times people had an idea of what they wanted Bitcoin to be that was ideological,
Mm.
and you have a solution that says, well, actually, we can fix that problem you're talking about, and the solution is not desired in all
Yeah, well,
situations.
it's that problem you're talking about is a market failure. Bitcoin has no market failures.
Well, I mean, it's true. Some people they don't like the solution
Yeah.
to exist because it justifies a lack of scaling.
Mm.
And that's like, well, I'm digital gold, and we can see that in the recent spam discussion with Bitcoin.
Mm.
Like I've kind of tongue in cheek shared the ATR solution with people, and of course, it's very difficult to get engagement. But one reason is, well, people don't want a solution to exist; they want a justification for what they want to do.
Mm.
Uh, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's fascinating. So
Look,
thank you guys for the support and for
yeah.
coming along with a ride. And we get to see what happens now that we're able to
Yeah.
take
So
what
I
we
think
got and roll with
people also might not realize how far we've come. Like I was just thinking about it before, and when we were originally putting together the network, there wasn't ATR. So
it. True.
originally we were thinking about, oh well, you just wallets would necessarily want to rebroadcast important things, but stuff would just fall off. That was the
Yeah.
original design. Block staking is another thing that came along quite a bit later. That means that
Mm,
the chain can be secure at lower volumes.
mm.
And now I think smart NFT. So we're not, it's not always sort of obvious to people. I think how much has changed. The fundamental design around routing work has stuck, and that's been we've given that to everyone we can find to criticize it.
It's informational. I mean, it's the interesting thing for me spending the last year really working on mechanism design and the academia stuff. Um, and realizing that what it's doing is we've got this decentralized topology, and what it's doing is it's turning the topology itself into something that's observable, and
Mm.
that makes it something that the mechanism or the machine can respond to and use to like issue payouts. And digging into this stuff, we've actually got a new section in the wiki. If you go to consensus, you'll see an academic theory page. If you click onto that, if you're hardcore into this stuff, it's wonderful
Yeah.
because you're going to see a side of blockchain connecting oddly much more with economics than computer science.
Mm.
Uh, and but yeah, it's kind of crazy to look at where we've gotten with this and look back and see how it's developed and see how it's got there. You
Yeah,
know?
it's similar the other night when I was on that space, and when people were talking about dependence on Web 2 infrastructure and Web
Mm,
3, and it was really validating for me because I could point out regularly, and it's coming up as a topic now with these Cloudflare outages and things. But I think people are also realizing the Infura problem and stuff we've talked
yeah.
about for a long time. We've always set out to make peer-to-peer apps. Like
Mm,
in some ways you can see like the Saito Talk, video calling, and those sorts of things are kind of trying to free native browser functionality from being locked down by Web 2 business
mm,
models, right?
yeah.
So we've stuck to those guns, and I think it's now really showing more and more people in that space were really interested in the fact that we had
Mm,
solutions to problems they thought were insoluble, not just in the design space, but actually in the implementation as well. You can
yeah.
do this stuff peer to peer. So
I will say this. I also really like the way the application set is coming together and it's kind of steamrolling, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we're using video call here, there's no problems. I think there's an issue with present that we got to fix, but like if that's not working for you today, that's because we fixed a bunch of other stuff that broke it in the process, right?
Well,
But
yeah, and
it's like,
we don't have a 12-person product team combing over every inch of the UI and giving us feedback and
yeah,
fixing
we're not double digits, guys.
yeah,
But yeah, it's like not only is like chat to me is rock solid.
mm-hmm.
Red Square over the past year has gone from I'm not really sure if this is going to work to I'm pretty sure I'm seeing things.
Yeah. Well, I just had a chat in the Node Runners thing where we did have a couple of glitches with the web front end being out the last few days. And they were just talking about like, oh, look, my posts are coming across. And there's two great things about that. If Saito.io is down, you can just go to nlsaito.net and post there because it's the same network. So, and you can continue the conversation. But also, like just that they're so happy seeing people are posting on NL Saito and it appears in Saito.io Red Square. And I think that's really starting to show like how cool the architecture is.
It really is. I mean, it really is cool. I also love on the gaming that we finally fixed the issue, and things with gaming have been rock solid for the past week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
There was that network connection where it would kick people sometimes, but it was like once in like 20 games, 30 games, But it's so irritating when it happens because it tanks the game, and you're like, if you've got a 4-player game, you've got a much higher chance of the game going, kaput.
Yeah, well, I think just having, and it's also because sort of we have that strong belief in peer-to-peer, right? We're not just going to fall back to just put it on a server. And so knowing that we're right and that really works and it was a glitch, it was a deeply buried edge case. It's really pleasing to me because I think like I haven't had an issue with a game in ages now. You're thinking about it, even with doing something dumb like turning on or off a VPN mid-game or whatever doesn't cause any issues. So.
Like a headline desync in TS, I can't remember when I've seen it, or garbled cards. But which is, of course, a sign that tomorrow I'm going to get garbled cards somewhere.
Tomorrow, an errant
cards,
cosmic ray is going to flip a bit somewhere on one of the nodes, and we'll have a terrible problem with card shuffling.
Like, okay, guys, if you don't know the garbled cards thing, it's like we had to actually implement mental poker ourselves, right? Like, this is not stuff where you can reach out and there's a library. There certainly wasn't at the time. I don't know if there is now. And it's like one of these computer problems where you're programming and you're fixing it. And the only way you know that everything works is if the card decrypts. And if the card doesn't decrypt, you have no idea which part of the convoluted card shuffling and dealing process is broken.
Yeah. It's like asking a bunch of people to go into a dark room and shuffle the cards and come out, and they're in the wrong order at the end, and you have to work out who made the mistake, right? It's like
basically,
it's just it's very difficult. So I think I'm super pleased, especially doing all these things we take for granted, but also talking to node runners now on a daily basis and getting them up to speed, getting feedback from them on the documentation, so we can up our game on terms of in terms of making it easier and easier. We have been a bit delayed because of some trouble from me and stuff on getting some even better tooling out for that, but that's coming. And super excited about that as well. And we're also starting to do things like add the long-term features, like having an admin place where as a node operator, you can go in and add and remove peers and stuff like that.
I'm fighting for you guys, by the way. I keep saying it needs to be easy to use. And Richard's like, I know that. And I'm like, do you know that? And he's like,
more scripts. Let's write more scripts. The robots are so good at it. Let's do that.
How many things can we expose?
It's a balance. Anyway, remember, I haven't used anything but Linux for 20 years.
Hey, I'm kidding. The inside baseball on this is that the first version of the site is you do everything correct, and you install it, and like hero mode. Because you've just gone and the install documentation, and the first thing you see on the page is error, and then this really complicated text message, and I'm like, error. It should be congratulations,
Yes.
Anyway, you got it. We got it.
So maybe let's go into what's up next.
Okay, we've got a ton of stuff, and we've kind of been holding back. Some people know about it because I'll chat with them or I'll post about it. But uh, I think what people know is they know about the store because we've talked about the store. And the store is a place to sell anything. It's a place to sell NFTs. It's a place to sell physical merch. And so we started doing this, and the store means payments with Web3 crypto. So we went back and we're like, not only do we need to make sure it's really seamless, the usability is working, but we need the ability for our server or the server, like if anyone runs a node and they install the store module, they're going to have the ability actually to collect payment in other cryptos. So this is part of Saito as a node. It's kind of like you're running your own Shopify, and you can collect
Mm.
USDT, USDC. Like you don't need to pay Shopify. So anything small that you want to run as a store from the
Mm.
very beginning, Saito is going to be a great place to do it.
Yeah.
And you can hack up the store and the
Well,
code,
and
and you get
our UI is both our implementation and modular, so you could
mm,
put it into anything else you like, right? So
yeah,
if you did do a Saito game and you had NFTs that amended the game, you could vend them at certain
true.
points in the game, right? Like
I
that's
guess I guess you could do that. Yeah.
yeah.
Or you could move solitaire into the store. So you can do frenetic buying and then play solitaire while you're
You
waiting.
could have a bot that will sell you a solution.
You could have 2000, 2000.com. You remember
Yeah,
how the Chinese internet, like they
yeah,
always had the West, someone figured out how to make that thing that drifts around like a screensaver.
yeah,
And then I remember going to China and there were like four of them on the screen on a
yeah,
news website. And
yeah.
I'm like, wow, these guys, they're not kidding around.
No, they always
Uh,
had more bling, even than GeoCities. Yeah.
Anyway, I guess back. So the store and the Web3 payments, that stuff has been under development, but we haven't pushed it out. And there's
Yeah.
a reason for that. The reason for that is we're thinking the store is essentially like a splash page for the project.
Yeah.
And if we just have like people that are selling images or something, oh, it's going to be an image NFT or whatever, it doesn't communicate to people what Saito is
Yeah.
and how powerful the network is in the applications. So we wanted something that's going to, when we share it with people and ask you guys to help spread it, that's going to help anyone who visits it to check things out
Mm.
realize that stuff is new. And that means moving way beyond things like Pump Fun. Like if you visit Pump Fun, they're trying to make it dynamic and it's a game, and you too can lose money on Solana, and watch a live stream while you get rigged. Um, but like if you're selling things on Saito, totally useful.
Yep.
Uh, I'm not kidding. You've been there.
I know exactly what you mean. I'm just
It's
thinking
like
about the
watching
AI
a
bot that
cartoon
clips up these
version.
videos and waiting for it to find that.
You literally watch the video while you wait them to pull the
Yeah.
rug out from under. So like we're not going to be competing with Solana in terms of distractions from reality on that front. But we want someone to come in, and so we started doing programmatic NFTs.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden, we're like, well, wait a minute, this is really interesting because it's showcasing some things that is new with Saito.
Hmm.
Like we're going to get your Matrix CSS theme up, Richard. So there's going to be a bunch of stuff that you can buy that is just programmatic NFTs.
Yep.
Like, and we're putting the recipes up on the wiki. So it's things like, here's how to do image swap on any application in Saito. So you can change your avatar, someone else's avatar. You can white brand and change the logo. And the simple example is going to be like poker, solitaire games. You
Yep.
can swap the card images.
Yep.
We've got a steampunk version of Settlers under development too, which I like.
Yep.
Uh, it's Mr. Moneybags on a desk, like brass and steel
Oh, nice.
and
I haven't
clocks.
seen that, but no,
They're
I mean, I think like some of these are deliberately trivial because they're demonstrative,
pretty
right? So like Matrix retheming Red Square, the big point is you can see what an NFT can do to the site really
good.
clearly, and the recipe for that is quite clear, so you can understand. Oh, I can now make this, or I could build an app that
Yeah,
is designed to only reveal features or
yeah,
certain things if you have the NFT, and you can see easily how you can do
right.
that. Right.
Well, it's what we mean. Like if people go to these other sites, and the message is you can create a shitcoin. We want people coming to the Saito store
You can
to
create a
realize,
shitcoin if you want to, by the way.
well, you
But
you can actually. We should have we should create a shitcoin. You can do that too. But you
Yeah.
can also do a lot of. You could actually create a shitcoin that rethemes
Yeah.
the browser too, so it like
Yes.
swaps out the logo
Yeah.
for your logo.
Anyone who wants to
Um,
create a stable coin, feel free.
yeah, I mean, it's utterly insane the stuff that's coming together.
Yep.
Um, so that led us to, well, look, we want to actually showcase the variety of stuff that's we can do when the store launches. And if you've heard of the scriptorium,
Don't think
this
many
is where
people
things
have
are
heard of
getting
this
really,
crypto.
really interesting. Um, Bitcoin scripting, uh, it's coming to Saito. I
Yeah.
don't know if we haven't mentioned this in a recording before, I
Don't
think,
think so.
but
It's that new.
uh,
Yeah.
it should be. If it's not up, we'll get it up soon. It's staging.saito.io
Yep.
scripting. We call it the scriptorium. What this is essentially a scripting language like exists on Bitcoin that allows you to write these just tiny logic rules that evaluate to one or zero.
Yep.
It can be things like, has the person trying to use this script, do they know how to create this hash? So
Yep.
that could be a password. If someone knows the password, it passes. It can be multi-sig.
Yep.
In order to do this, you need to provide 2 of 3 keys, or 5 of 7, or 5 of 15.
Yep.
Um,
So you can do cool stuff as well. Like this one really threw me because you can do stuff with routing related as well. So you could say enable something if this NFT has been given to someone and returned, right? So
well, you
you
can't
could
do that
actually
yet.
cause it to be
Theoretically, you can.
yeah.
Someone's got to code that, but it's possible. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, so you can have a thing where everyone essentially has to sign off on something, right?
Yeah.
So you can have a
I'm
round
just saying
robin
that so Sato Web3 doesn't come to me and complain
about
after you kicked him off of the server with your anti-DDoS things. Uh, but yeah, no, there's an
yeah.
insane amount of cool stuff. Here is something really interesting that I don't think any other network has, and we're going to be coming out with this in the next probably week or 2 weeks. Like, it's pretty much mostly working, so it's polished at this point. You can write a script that says this evaluates to one and passes if the person owns this NFT, or if they own a copy of this NFT, or if they own any NFT from this key, which immediately turns creating an NFT into an access key.
Yep.
In other networks, to do this kind of things, you need to write the smart contract, and then you need to write the third-party code, and the third-party code needs to check the smart contract. No, no, no. You just do it on Saito. And so we've got the scriptorium. It originally developed as a testing tool to get this stuff, so we could put this kind of content in the store.
Yep.
And we've now got something coming up that's actually going to be a really fundamental tool that uses it, and we're calling it the Vault.
Yep.
And what this is it's a super easy UI that you visit it, you click a button, you get to upload a file, and it creates an NFT that unlocks access to that file.
Yep.
Very simple. The UI is, I like it, but also foundational, because now applications can have media, and they can have protected and controlled access to media. So it's going to be trivial for us to roll out things like Substack.
Yep.
Because what Substack is like a blog post with an access script attached to it.
Yep.
And the beautiful thing about the access scripting is you can combine them in really interesting ways. So you could say, well, you need to have this kind of NFT, but it expires after 30 days. Or you can have that kind of NFT that expires after 60 days.
Yep.
Or you need one of these NFTs and a SIG from me that expires within a certain amount of time. So it's incredibly powerful. This stuff, we're almost ready to get it out. I think we'll get the vault out first.
Yep.
So we're going to get this file upload. You can play around with it on staging.
Yep.
The work that still needs to be done basically is testing that the access controls are perfect, because it's like modules interacting with modules, and it's scripting interacting with the
Yeah, it's not trivial, but
archive here, actually.
yeah. I mean, I really love this because it gives us a version of DRM that isn't shit, right? That's not.
Yeah.
You don't have to, if you're an artist or a creator or whatever, you don't have to hand over your content to a Web2 third party and then hope they manage it in your interest. You have the ability to manage ownership globally to your stuff
Yeah.
with a very simple toolkit. And obviously, like over time, if there are standard models, like if someone wanted to build a Substack, you could do that and have scripting for people to just would be under the
It's
covers. They would never see it. They would just say, "I want to make this
yeah.
kind of subscription model and then sell those NFTs," and
I mean, it's
off
kind of
we go.
insane. You could use this kind of system to put the information in NFT, and anyone who had the NFT could get access to an archive that would give them Red Square tweets.
Yep.
So you could visit Saito.io Red Square.
Yep.
Someone sends you an NFT, and instantly you've got access to tweet streams that we don't even know about.
Yep.
It's kind of insane and fun.
Yeah.
So that's happening. Why is this stuff happening? Well, it brings us right back to the store because we want to be able to put all of this stuff and all of these examples on the store so that when people visit,
Yep.
the first impression they get is going to be like, well, this isn't pump fun. But then the immediate second impression is like, wait a minute, this is better. Because the stuff that is for sale as an NFT, none of it looks like a traditional NFT, except for this incredibly attractive photo of an orange cat,
Yep.
which is worth at least
10-sided.
$100.
So one-sided then. Yeah.
So that's what's happening. A bunch of this stuff, it's been under development, and we've still got like the payment stuff, and we're kind of rolling back, fixing the UI for the store, making sure payments are smooth. But we should be able to roll this stuff out reasonably quickly.
Yeah.
We've kind of been in a bit of a holding pattern because without this stuff done, like the vault, we haven't wanted to push out the store.
Yeah.
But we also kind of needed to get this stuff done so that we could go back and do the fixes to the store that we.
Well,
It's small stuff, like like if you've got an NFT with 10 versions, do you want to split it up before you list that kind of stuff?
right. Well, if people are selling a token on the store, that you don't want to have all 21 million Bitcoin as like
Yeah.
as one listing, right? They should be a thing where you can buy n of them. So
But like, I mean, if you're watching this right now, the truth is that you're way ahead of the curve on what's coming compared to pretty much anyone else in crypto. One of the things that we want is that when the store goes live and the scriptorium goes live and the vault goes live, and you see what we put up, we want you to understand that you can do this too.
yep.
So it's kind of like we want to turn store listings into something that can be a viral channel for people just sharing news with friends that crypto has moved beyond the shitcoining world and we're actually kind of going to micro internet stage.
Yeah, I
You
think
know?
that's sort of the touching or moving into the last thing I wanted to kind of formally talk about, which was chatting to people about, often at the end of an update or something, we'll give people, we'll make a call out to get involved or to help with various things and stuff. So one of the reasons for building all of this in the store as well is to give everyone in the community different ways that they can get involved. That could be
Yeah.
creating a traditional NFT set if you wanted to do that. It could be working on themes and selling themes if you wanted to. It could be writing, specific kinds of apps, etc., that you use for this sort of thing. So there's lots and lots of opportunities out there to get involved. And this is really going to be a showcase as well for not having to be a node runner or a developer or very specific, skill set to get involved. There'll be a lot more things like that. And, that's the other side of being on Mainnet now is the tools are there. This is the platform. We're going to keep working on it, improving it, doing things ourselves.
Yeah.
But it's really a space where everyone can get involved and make Saito what it can be, right?
Yeah. I mean, I just love the way it all snowballs. Like you could have an NFT that's now modulating chat and allows you to even connect with people.
Yep.
You could have an NFT that says you're allowed to be my friend.
Or DM me or whatever. Yeah.
I'm lonely NFT. Add me as a friend.
Well, there's also really cool ways you could do group chats and stuff with them using the NFTs as administrative tokens, right? So I create a group. We use the NFT as the master encryption key, and then I can hand that to someone else if I want to want to move on, but the group should live on. And problems that are hard peer-to-peer where you, again, don't have that central admin layer.
You can use your friendship with someone to punish them. You can be my friend if you install Vitalik Unicorn Red Square CSS that adds rainbows and unicorns.
So long as you're looking at unicorns, we can be friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So I think we should probably wrap up. We don't want to belabor things too much.
Mm. We haven't even talked about everything. You can have Web3 crypto payments
That's
installable as
true.
NFTs.
That's true.
I don't think right now, I think there is a problem, but we're going to get it solved.
Yeah.
Um, if you're involved in another crypto and you want to
Yes.
do reach out, let us know actually, because we've got a bunch of ideas for marketing around this.
Hmm.
Things like we could just distribute a bunch of NFTs to the community and say, trade them around to whoever wants to use Saito for this stuff. And we'll measure. And if people actually start adopting it, we can move the crypto into something that's accepted by default, because
Right.
that kind of becomes the prize, because the store is now accepting crypto.
Yeah, I really love that idea of having like launched, having 1,000 or something NFTs out there for whichever crypto it is,
Mm.
and once they're all in use, then we say, well, okay, now it makes sense to just make that a natively supported
Yeah.
crypto. It's a great way to support that. It's not removing functionality from anyone else. If there's 3 people
Hmm.
that want to use Hatcoin,
Hmm.
just get the NFT and do it. So it's very simple to enable. And again, it's not gated. No one's blocking you.
Yeah.
It's just whichever way you want to do it.
You
So
could install an NFT that swaps out some defaults, so that when you visit the main site or any other site with the same wallet, it immediately swaps it with your
that's
custom.
that's true. You could actually run your own themed red square by
Yeah.
just by giving people an NFT to make it appear different. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It's kind of awesome.
It is a little difficult for us. Some of the delays that we've experienced, or some of the extensions, I should call them, have been because we keep stumbling on cooler shit. So,
Mm.
like, it's a challenge. Obviously, we want to get stuff out there in front of people, but this will be, on testnet
Well, I
soon
mean,
enough.
it's also because a lot is happening. I think people don't appreciate how much work you and Sanka have done on the Rust side lately with nodes
Yeah.
and node making, and just what exactly can go wrong when someone tries to sync a 3-month-old version of the blockchain
Well,
with a
there's
production.
there's a slight issue with as well. If you make really really capable nodes that can absolutely suck down blocks and
Mm.
sync really fast, or provide someone else with blocks and sync really fast, if they all just start being a little bit too verbose and chatty, there's a
Mm.
zillion blocks moving very fast around your network.
Yeah.
And so you end up with interesting problems, just like how can you ignore that much information if it's an out of date blockchain
Hmm.
without just blacklisting someone who doesn't deserve it. They were just slightly out of sync or whatever. So there's some fun
So,
and games around that.
so you're saying it wasn't really Sata Web3's fault? That's what I'm hearing.
I don't know what he did, but he will hear from me. No, we'll work it out, buddy. I'm sure it's something minimal, but
Collateral damage.
but the DDoS did
Sorry, man.
the DDoS
Uh,
checkers did go off and block that
yeah.
IP, and I think it might be you. Cool.
Anyway, I guess the takeaway is there's so much happening,
Yeah.
and I think it's not only Mainnet is not only pushing out here, but it's pushing into a
Yeah.
conceptual open space,
Yeah.
and that's where the kind of things we're talking about, I think we actually do get to shift, so that
Yeah.
anyone in the community who wants to take part in this level, like, you don't need to be running nodes.
Yeah.
I will say, for the scripting, if you're interested in scripting, Bitcoin, people argue about what opcodes are. We don't need to care about that. We can
It's
have
true. We're not
NFTs
limited like that.
install. No, seriously though,
Yeah.
we can have NFTs that install opcodes.
Right.
So, like, Bitcoin's like, oh, let's regulate what scripts you run, because, like, we're
Yeah.
the master. It's like, no, if your application needs a specific opcode, you can enable that in a bunch of ways. We don't need to say you can't do it.
Yeah.
Just you could put the code in a programmable NFT, distribute it to people, and it doesn't need to be like
Yeah.
consumer level infrastructure stuff.
Yeah.
Like, this opcode is needed for managing whether the house knows that it's me.
Right. Well, there's all sorts. I mean, as well with like nodes and stuff. Like at the node level, you could add if a node has an NFT, it can sync with you and stuff like that. So there's plenty of like weirdness you could do that way too. Um, cool. That was one other thing actually I wanted to mention in terms of getting involved. So people will probably notice we've got a bit more outreach happening. We've upped the work we're doing in terms of spaces, and we've got some people working on different outreach methods that you'll see, some quest type stuff, all sorts of things we're trialing to try and get mainnet out there in front of people. So if you see those things happening, if you see us on a space or those things, do jump in and participate, ask useful questions, and join in any of the activities. So that should be ramping up over the next month as well. And that's another great place people can come in and contribute, is just, spreading the word on anything we're doing out there.
And also, I think in the past it's been kind of rough with brainstorming because we're like, theoretically, Saito could do this when we get there. And then people have immediately kind of jumped off into, well, let's think about this,
Yep.
right? And then they think about something cool and, well, I can't run a node and we're not at mainnet and we don't have tokens. And it's been a bit of a wet towel,
Yeah.
because people are like, this is really cool. We love what you guys are doing and, what the community is doing, but why can't I do it?
Yep.
And now it's reversed, I think. So cool ideas that you can think of can be super, super simple to implement.
Yep.
I'm expecting other people to get ahead of us. But as before, if you've got ideas and you want help making them a reality, give us a ping.
Yeah, always just let us know on Red Square or in DMs, and we'll get back to people. It's cool, like the node runners as well. There's like a group for that. People are starting to self-help, so they're starting to bring in the newer people and share information and stuff. That's really great to see.
We had an email exchange with someone, I'm not going to dox on this, who was talking about kind of multi-sig with access to files in some situation. And I'm looking at this. This was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, the vault actually just totally solves that.
Yeah.
It's just upload to a vault. You've got an NFT, whatever you want.
It's a total solution for anyone who wants to build an open office suite or anything like that, as well. Because, it's easy to do permissioning, and you could have layers of permissioning, etc.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's as easy to use as Google, but you have total control over permissioning.
Right, exactly. And it's also not that thing where people have to sign up to a new thing and how do I do that, etc. You could send them the document address and the NFT just say, now you can do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then it's done.
Well, this kind of stuff is the polish, right? Yeah. Like the questions, the usability questions. If you send someone the NFT, should the NFT contain information saying there's a file? And the answer is it can.
Depends.
Or you can. We call the public NFT key. We've also got stealth NFT keys where there's no sign in the NFT or anywhere visible on the network that this NFT actually unlocks something. So treasure hunts, really pure forms of information.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that idea for quests or treasure hunts or various games that you could need to collect a certain set of NFTs to get a treasure map or whatever information. Yeah. So, yeah, it's such an interesting space to get into.
It's crazy what's happening. It's great. So thank you guys for coming along with the ride. Please keep with us as we get this stuff out because
and
it's really exciting.
So one last special announcement. I made a copy of.
You're doing a Steve Jobs thing. One last thing, and you're.
No, that's my. It's got a collar. It's not a turtleneck. One last thing. It's my Columbo. Just one more thing. We decided I've taken a snapshot of the UTXO set, and we're going to mint a Citizen OG NFT. We commissioned some artwork for it today, and get one of those out to everyone who had an on-chain balance. And I think probably some select people who've helped out along the way. We'll share some of those. So we'll make it a limited edition. Some cool number, like 333 of them, and then
we know you guys. Well, actually, we don't. We don't know who you are necessarily.
No, we may know your public key, but that's it. We certainly don't know your private.
We know the public keys that are OG.
Yeah, and so those will get this token and perhaps some other people, which I think is just cool. I like the idea that
it's a better way to do airdrops.
Yeah. So that's the other thing that is enabled at the moment. So we'll get into that. Well, no, it's NFTs that can be their own airdrop. NFTs, you could do an NFT that dropped some cash every time someone sent it. There's so many nutsy possibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. That is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You could just literally use the NFT as a key to redeem something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think we should probably wrap it up there, unless we had anything else we've forgotten. It's been...
No, this is a long one.
Huh? Yeah, I thought we'd take a bit more time today and do it live just as a kind of mark of celebration. So yeah, thanks everyone. It's been really cool to get here. We're still at it, still keen, still going, and so we'll be letting people know about the new testnet and dropping this new software. Node running, all the tools will be coming out. Will be around the socials. So,
Yeah.
thanks everyone. It's really great to hit this milestone.
Yeah. We'll new update next week, I guess,
Yeah.
as things start speeding up.
Yep. All right. Till then. Okay.
I thought that was good.